My first Android Wear watch review. This will be good. Android smartwatches are interesting because of the same reason their phones are interesting. Their diversity. And there are currently many square smartwatches and many round smartwatches, including the Huawei watch, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right, after every single person told me how to pronounce it in many different ways. Huawei. I listened to some other people and they pronounced it Huawei, so we're going with Huawei. If I'm wrong, please don't tell me. I know. They named it though, it's not my fault. Anyway, the most popular Android Wear smartwatch I know of is the Moto 360, both the first and second generation. And I watched a lot of reviews of those. I've even played with a couple, and I just hate that flat tire design. That would bug me. Every time I used it, it annoyed me. And I knew the Huawei watch existed and it doesn't have the flat tire. It's a complete circle. And I was testing out a Nexus 6P for a while, which is designed by Huawei. So figured get their watch, their smartphone, see how they work together. So having a round watch it's good, you know, in certain ways. And in some cases, it's even an advantage over the Apple Watch. It makes for some pretty great watch faces. The round watch faces you can get on these round smartwatches are pretty natural feeling. They deliver tons of information. And of course, with Android Wear, you get third-party watch faces, which is excellent. Wide range of things to choose from, unlimited amount. So in terms of keeping time, it does it very well. And it even has an always-on display, which at first I was a tad annoyed with, just because I knew it was using my precious battery when I wasn't using it. You know, I didn't have a watch before the Apple Watch. So now I'm kind of like, you know, why would the watch keep using power when I'm not using it? I like that it only uses stuff when I activate it. You know, that could just be me used to my Apple Watch. There's probably tons of you out there who are totally fine with it being always on. And also, if you don't want it always on, you can turn that feature off really easy. And every watch face you get has an activated mode and a not activated mode. Some look like they're saving power, and some just kind of like turn off the gray part of the watch face and turn it to black. And I kind of wish it would just stay black because no new information is changing. But that's not a problem because with the Huawei watch, you get a very great battery life. Every day I used it, I usually put it on the charger at the end of the day with 40 to 50%. So no problem there. Oh yeah, and charging feels a little weird. The cable is magnetic to the back of the watch, but it uses pins that you have to line up just right. See, like on the Apple Watch, it's wireless and magnetic, so you can just drop it on the charger however way you want. But with the Huawei, it has to be just right. So it's not really wireless charging, but it is. It's pinned charging. That's what I'll call it. Now, my complaint with the Huawei watch, and this is actually just Android Wear in general, is the smartwatchy side of it. So the menus, the actions a smartwatch can do, replying to things and responding to notifications, it doesn't fit well on a round smartwatch. Lots of things get cut off, and to get them to not be cut off, like texts or menus and things, they have to crop it in the center. And that means the screen is very large, but the text and the content on the display is not being used at its full advantage because everything has to be cropped in so you can read it. And in terms of interface, there's one button that always takes you to the watch face, but that's all that button can do. And every other action on it is just swiping to the side or up or down. It's just swipe, 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 swipe. That's all you can do. I love that the Apple Watch has a home screen because you can look at everything it can do. Even if the Apple Watch didn't have a home screen, it'd be fine because the digital crown lets you do so many different things. You can press it to go home, hold it down to access Siri, so it's not just a Hey Siri feature every time you want to use it. And of course it rotates, and that has a feature. And of course there's a button on the side, which if you're on watchOS 3, it activates multitasking. But if you're not on watchOS 3, it adds your contacts. That other side button can also be double tapped and access Apple Pay. So my point is the competition has a lot more interface tools other than just swipe, 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 swipe. But don't get me wrong, the Huawei watch is still much, much better than that Fitbit Blaze I reviewed not long ago, which could barely deliver any notifications. All you got was SMS text. That's it. You know, no Facebook Messenger or reminders or stuff like that. It was just SMS text, phone calls, and calendar events, which is not very practical. Android Wear delivers every notification the phone can get. That's not just on Android, that's on the iPhone too. I tried it with the 6P and then I tried it on my iPhone 6. There's not a whole lot of differences of the experience. It works to its full potential on both, except, you know, like Siri control with the Huawei watch, you can't do that, like play certain music. Maybe you can actually, I didn't try it. Let me know, someone who owns it. So anyway, in terms of durability, it's known as being water resistant, but not officially waterproof. I looked around around and I couldn't find any fully waterproof test, but you can wear it while washing dishes. You can wear it in the rain. Probably you'd be fine even in the shower, although don't wear watches in the shower. That's weird. You're supposed to be cleaning yourself. Dirt gets stuck in there in this area because of the band. You're supposed to clean in there. Don't be checking the time. Disconnect for a while, people. Anyway, what am I talking about? Oh my gosh. Ever since I said, hey Siri, not long ago, the watch has been listening. It's listening again. Wow, stop. It's so good. But yeah, anyway, durability. Huawei watch has a sapphire crystal display, so don't worry about too many scuffs. But again, don't, bash it on purpose. And I'm gonna recommend not fully submerging it. Although it might last, I don't know, maybe. But I'd say don't. Just don't. So in conclusion, as a tech lover, I think this is a really good smartwatch. But for everyday people, this isn't a great accessory because every time I got a notification, it felt like the only action I could take was getting my phone out, which, it does the basics of a smartwatch, which is deliver notifications. That's true. But the Apple Watch, you can do so much on the watch itself. Basically, all you can do with most notifications on Android Wear is open it on the phone or block the app from sending more notifications. That's usually it. Of course, there's reply to text, which is great, but that should be standard by now. So the problem with this is lots of people out there don't really care for smartwatches at all, and they have their reasons for it, whether it be too expensive, not very functional, and it's too dependent on the smartphone. The Huawei watch falls into all three of these categories, so it amplifies those reasons. So if you're trying to get someone into smartwatches, this wouldn't help because it starts at $400 on the Google store, but on Amazon you can get it for $250, so definitely get it through Amazon. But I let my Android friend try it for a while. He has a Galaxy Note 5. We had a talk about it, and he said $250 is still overpriced for that thing. It's nice, but he would not pay that much for it. So if you were trying to get someone into smartwatches, the Apple Watch would be your best bet because of all the things it can functionally do. And it does require an iPhone, but a lot of the things it can do on its own, unlike Android Wear, which requires a lot of get out the phone. But if you love Android and you're a bit of a techie and you've got some extra money laying around, definitely don't consider this a must buy. But yeah, if you can afford it, it's a really neat accessory and it works perfectly with hundreds of Android phones and of course iPhone. But if you have an iPhone, just get the Apple Watch. Do it. Sorry, I'm gonna keep that inside of me. Don't get loose. I was pleasantly surprised with this thing because, Android Wear is not super popular. I don't see it very common in public, but this is a pretty good running smartwatch. It's not the best, of course, but I like it. Personally, I thought it was fashionable, did about 60% of what a smartwatch should do. And it works good. I like it. It's good. There's not always some catch, A lot of people think because I'm an Apple sheep, I have to hate everything not made by Apple. Sometimes you can just like other things too and buy just Apple products. There's not a catch. You're waiting for me to just explode out with this terrible thing about it, like I'm hiding it for the end of the episode like I always do. It's not happening. So this is your app. The button on the side can spin, okay? Why would you let the button on the side spin if it wasn't gonna have any functionality? Let it spin through the menus. Just copy Apple, make it a digital crown. You could do so much more if it rotated. You wouldn't have to be swipe, up and down. If you're gonna let it spin, let it have a feature. Just think of a way to be innovative. So, this is your Apple sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.